want to make sure that I'm live where I want to be. So give me a hot minute here, and then we're going to get into it. All right, we're good. Hi. Yes, there's a template. Don't you love templates? I love templates. So I've got my Sharpie. This should be on every desk, not the tag. I have this thing with tags where I never want to cut them off. It's like I don't want to fully commit to the product, but this is a pretty cool mug, and I've probably had it for about 10 years. Okay, so you want a lot of pens. And we're going to go over the practice growth template. Let me first say that if you're watching me on YouTube, hit the bell so that you get an announcement and an alert every time I go live, because I am dishing out some good stuff. We're having a lot of fun in the Staffless Practice community. So, you know, over the years, the way that I grow my practice has changed. And it's definitely, these days, it's definitely more about where my headspace is. And as long as my headspace is in a good place, my practice organically grows. But for years, I had to pound pavement, and I had to leave the office and go out and shake hands and kiss babies. Not literally, but that's what I had to do. I had to get out there. But when you've been in practice for a couple of decades in the same small town, people start to know who you are after about 5 years, and your reputation builds from there. And then it's like a multi-generational practice, which is really cool. I have babies bringing their babies in. So in the beginning, I needed a really solid plan. I needed a plan to build my practice in the way that I wanted to. I didn't want to have staff in the office. I wanted to do things as automated as possible. I wanted to make sure that I took care of people who I was really good at serving. And for me, that's new moms. They're my wheelhouse. They're what I love to focus on. So I needed to make sure that all of the things that they needed when they came into my space were all set and ready to go. That's called the perfect practice member. And if you look in the description of this video, you can actually get an entire free workshop on how to come up with who your perfect practice member is. So the template itself is really quite simple, and you're going to be like, why didn't I think of that? Okay, so you're basically going to take a piece of paper and you're going to fold it in four, right? Like that. So that you have 4 squares, okay? On the first square, you're going to write inside habits. You guys, I'm so sorry about my handwriting. On the second square, you're going to write outside habits. On the third square, you're going to write inside celebrations. And on the fourth square, you're going to write outside celebrations. Okay, so it's going to end up looking something like this. Okay, this is not rocket science. So you have a sheet of paper with Sharpie smells. You have a sheet of paper that's going to look something like this, and the idea is that you have stuff in each square of the sheet. Okay, here's the thing. If you're new in practice and you don't already have a following in your office or in your community, you want to build that following. You want to get people out there to know who you are and what you're all about. So you're going to focus a lot more on the outside stuff. You're going to get out there. You're going to go to the events. You're going to go to the experiences, to the talks, to the coffee dates, to the walks, to all of the stuff outside of the office, okay? If you've got a pretty healthy following and you've got people who already know, trust, and love you, who know how wonderful you are at doing what you do, you can certainly focus more on inside stuff. Your inside stuff is going to be the stuff that you do inside the office to continue to move it forward. If you're somewhere in the middle, then you want a healthy balance of all 4 quadrants. Is that fair? Okay, let's go over what the 4 quadrants are. So the first one is going to be habits. What's a habit? What am I talking about? So once a month, we do a process called recalls, and everybody knows what a recall program is, right? But we have a kind of a fun, creative twist on it. In my office, we have to make it really, really easy for people to either text us a 1, 2, or 3. A 1 if they want to get on my schedule immediately. A 2 if they want to put their care on hold. Or a 3 if they really want to be taken off of the list. 1, 2, or 3. These are for people who I have lost connection with. Whether I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, they didn't complete their care plan, or you know how every once in a while you get a client who just can't be on a care plan? Those are the people that can be on this list too. Okay, so that's a recall program. It's a system that you have in place. You set a reminder once a month, every other week, however often you want to do it. I used to have a front desk person and her only job was to run my recall program. Now it takes us all of maybe 10 minutes to do. And I say us, it's me and my virtual assistant who do this together. So that's my recall program. That's an inside habit. You get that? Because it's inside the office. We're focusing on people inside the practice, right? And we're focused on a habit. It's something that we do on a regular basis. Outside habits would be, so I live in a small town and we have a main street, cute little main street with 2 blocks. It's actually our main street is the most photographed spot in all of the state of New Jersey. Kind of a cool thing because we have an active working water mill. So in Clinton, we have 2 blocks to our main street. And one of my outside habits would be to go door to door and spend a little cash, like shop at local shops, maybe buy a block of cheese for my husband or a new necklace for my mom at the local stores. And by the way, here are my cards. I'm the town chiropractor down the street. It's a habit. It's an outside habit to create, and it certainly pushes my practice forward. That's a really good habit to implement when you've got something going on for the practice, when you have an event coming up or a celebration. Okay, let's get into celebrations because they're fun. Inside celebrations. The inside celebrations are the events that you hold for your current practice members to celebrate them and remind them of how grateful you are that they chose you to be their practitioner, whether you're a PT, an OT, a chiropractor, whatever it is, you're celebrating them on a regular basis. And literally, you guys, if you're doing it right, if you're new in practice or if you're revamping your practice and resetting the way that you do things, you want to have an inside celebration at least once a month. You want to have something for Mom's Day, something for Dad's Day, something for Valentine's Day. You want to have a kids month. You want to have a aren't you happy you're well adjusted month. Aren't you grateful you come to your dentist month. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're celebrating your practice members every month. If you need ideas for what to do, get the book that I just put out, The Joy-Filled Practice Plan, because that's all that it is. It's all of your ideas for celebrating your practice. Okay, outside celebrations. Your outside celebrations are going to be the things, you guys are getting the hang of this by now, I know you are. The things that you're going to do outside of the office to push your practice forward. The celebrations for your community. They're going to be like a BNI meeting or a Chamber of Commerce meeting. That's going to be an outside habit. It's a habit that you get into, that you show up week after week, month after month. The outside celebration would be having a booth at the local health fair, or bringing a talk into the schools. My friend Dr. Lona Cook is like the master of this, right? Or doing a dinner for health talk, which we're actually giving away for free with your seat to Staffless Practice Academy right now. So those are outside celebrations. And really, you guys, the goal is to have balance in this picture and to do things that you really love to do. There's nothing worse than showing up on a Saturday morning outside of a big box store and begging for people to listen to you talk to them, at them for 5 minutes about what you think they should be doing for their health. Don't do it, you guys. It's not the best use of your time. I'm warning you. I'm telling you right now. Okay, so that's a balanced 4-part marketing plan. And I love the template. I love the template idea. I love the idea of taking a huge whiteboard or even taking a wall like my inhale, exhale wall and just dividing it into 4 and getting 4 huge sheets of paper and writing. Here, I'm really visual, so I need to see it all laid out. I do this for staffless practice. You guys need, so this, what I'm doing right now with you, this is an outside habit. I go live and I give you free stuff every day. It's an outside habit to push the company forward. This is me walking my walk. When it comes to my practice is really where I want it to be, right? So I focus a lot on my inside stuff. I focus on celebrating my practice members. I do things like you see the butterflies hanging behind me. I make sure that all of my new babies get butterflies. I give them fun jewelry with essential oils on them. I do all kinds of fun things to keep my current practice members knowing how much I love them. And at this point, what happens is it just innately grows. It innately fuels itself and nourishes itself because I did this year after year after year. I made all the mistakes for you. So follow my lead. I'm going to take you there. And if you look at the description of this video, you're going to see a free training on, there are actually 2 trainings available to you. One is a guide on how to come up with your perfect practice member, like the definition of that person, and then what to do with them, like how do you create policies for that person once you discover them. And then the second one is our free training, which you can also find at stafflesspracticetraining.com. Okay, I'm going to go get on Jim Chester's podcast. Meet me over there, you guys. If you don't know Jim Chester, you're missing out because he's a rock star. I hope you enjoy your afternoon and make today